4, here's my other option, -5, x, not x, 4 minus 10, and 4 plus 2. See how you have a lot of options you can go off of? You can use either the standard or the factor form to find your y value. It does not matter. You should get the same answer if you did all your calculations correctly. They should both equal 180. So my vertex is 4, 180, which turns out to be the same as when we do the vertex form. And again, because of my coefficient of -5, coefficient -5 makes it open down. So it's a maximum at this point. All right, so there's lots of strategies for you to use. You have lots of options. You can choose whichever you want to use. I, again, might require you to know specifically how to do the completing the square, but I think all methods are valuable for you to know. Let's fill in some blanks here. So when in the vertex form, you can use the sign of the leading coefficient and the y value of the vertex to determine the value of the maximum or the minimum. So if I ask you specifically what is the maximum value or the maximum minimum, you should just be able to state the y value of it. When in the factored form, you can find the axis of symmetry, which is just like the midpoints or the average, midpoint slash average of the x-intercepts, and solve for the y value. Oops. So depending on the sign of the leading coefficient again, this will be the max or the min. Last one, when you're in the standard form, not very helpful, so you need to change it. You must change it to vertex or the factored form to find the maximum or the minimum. So the max and min value of functions refer to the vertex. Okay, when I say find the max or the min, you're looking for the vertex. When you have to state the max value or the min value, we're specifically looking for the y value of the vertex. But you should be able to state the vertex, and if I ask you specifically in a word problem, you can interpret it using the y value. So here's our last word problem. The demand for a new magazine is px equals -6x plus 40, where p of x represents the selling price in thousands of dollars of the magazine, and x is the number sold in thousands. So 1,000 magazines sold. The cost function is c of x equals 4x plus 48. Calculate the max profit and the number of magazines sold that will produce the max profit. All right, so we're looking for the max profit. That's what the question's asking for. You need to know some important concepts. So first thing you want to know is that profit is equal to the revenue, like how much money you make, minus the cost. So how much it costs to produce something. So this is important for you to know. The profit comes from the revenue, like the money that you make, minus the cost. And the revenue function. So if I ask you for the revenue, that means how much money did you make from selling this product? You need to do the price of the product multiplied by the number of items sold. I don't have space. Number of items sold. So you need to multiply those two. So let's take a look at our question again. We want to start with our revenue so we can plug it into the profit. And again, I'm going to highlight this because this is important for you to know. I will definitely ask similar questions on a quiz or a test. All right, let's start with the revenue. The price is given here, right? Because P of X is a price function. How many items did I sell? How many magazines did I sell? That's actually just X. X is a number of magazines that you're selling. So we're just going to take negative 6x plus 40. That's your price. And then you're just going to multiply X to it, which is the number of magazines that you've sold. I can also expand this. Negative 6x squared plus 40x. So I've got the revenue. Let's plug it into our profit function. So profit is equal to my revenue function, which is negative 6x squared plus 40x. Subtract my cost function. And here is my cost function, 4x plus 48. Plus 48. Notice that I'm putting all of this in brackets because we need to distribute it. If you don't put brackets, you'll make a mistake with your calculation. So trying to get rid of all my brackets, the first one, I don't need to distribute anything, so negative 6x squared plus 40x. The second bracket though, I will need to distribute this negative sign, so negative 4x and negative 48. Okay, so please be careful of using the brackets. Cleaning it up, negative 6x squared plus 36x minus 48. Remember, we're looking for the max profit. That means maximum. So when you're looking for a maximum, you have to find the vertex. Right now, we have a profit function in a standard form. So you can either use factoring or completing the square. So factor or complete the square. let's try factoring here. So let's take our function. I'm going to common factor -6 out of all of it. So -6 x squared minus 6x plus 8. So because I've taken out a -6, I switched all the signs. Gonna take this bracket and you can do your MAN. Adds to +8. Sorry, multiplies to +8, adds to -6 by two numbers, -2, -4. So -6 times x minus 2 times x minus 4. That's my fully factored. My x-intercepts are x equals 2 and 4. I guess another method instead of factoring, you could use the quadratic formula to figure out your x-intercepts, just like the assignment. But this is a little bit less writing, I feel like. All right, we got the x-intercepts. Let's find the vertex. So if you want to find the midpoint or the average, you take the 2 and the 4 and then divide it by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. Plug it into your function, so -6 times 3 squared plus 36 times 3 minus 48. If you do your math, -54 plus 108 minus 48. You should get 6 if we did our calculations correctly. So the vertex is 3, 6, right? But am I done? Not quite. You do need to interpret it because it is a word problem. So what does that 3, 6 mean? Well, 3 as your x, like number of magazines sold, right? Your y value, your 6, that was a profit. We were looking for profit, right? Which they're telling all the price and like all the money and thousands of dollars. So that just means, therefore, when they sell 3,000, because x is in the thousands, that's when their max profit is. So max profit is $6,000 because your price and all the money is thousands of dollars, so $6,000 after selling 3,000 magazines. All right, so that had different parts to it. Again, important, you really should know how to find the profit and revenue when you're given such information. Please make sure you finish your practice questions from today's lesson, but also yesterday's lesson, or lesson 4 rather, if you didn't finish it.